Good morning, dear students. Today in economics, we will start a new chapter, that is sectors of Indian economy. Children, just look around you or in your surroundings. You will find that people are engaged in various economic activities. Some of these are activities producing goods, some other are producing services. These activities are happening around us every minute, even as we speak. How do we understand these activities? One way of doing this is to group them or classify them by using some important criterion. These groups are also known as sectors. Children, before grouping them into sectors or classifying them into sectors, let's see what we are going to study in this chapter. First, different sectors of economy, then comparison, then we will see the difference between organized and unorganized sector and classification of economic activities. Now children, just see the sectors of Indian economy. There are three types of classification. The first one is based on economic activity, and on the basis of economic activity, it can be classified into primary sector, secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. And on the basis of organization, it can be divided into organized and unorganized sector, or it can be classified into organized and unorganized sector. And on the basis of ownership, we can classify this into private and public sector. Now let's start the classification based on economic activities, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. Now the primary sector. Children, the economic activity which are connected with the extraction and production of natural resources, for example agriculture, fishing, mining, etc., falls under the primary sector. Now children, we will see the classification on the basis of economic activity, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. First, primary sector, the economic activity which are connected with the extraction and the production of natural resources. Children, there are many activities that are undertaken by directly using natural resources. Take for example the cultivation of cotton. It takes place within a crop season. For the growth of the cotton plant, we depend mainly but not entirely on the natural factors like rainfall, sunshine, climate. The product of this activity, that is cotton, is a natural product. Similarly, let's take one more example. In the case of an activity like dairy depends on biological process of animal and the availability of fodder, etc. The product here, milk, also is a natural product. Similarly, minerals and ore are also a natural product. Children, when we produce a good by exploiting natural resources, it is an activity of primary sector. Children, once again I am repeating this, listen it very carefully. When we produce a good by exploiting the natural resources, we call it as a primary sector, or we call it as a activity of primary sector. Children, why primary sector? This is because it forms the base for all the other products that we subsequently make, since most of the natural product we get from agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry. This sector is also called agriculture sector or agricultural and related sector. Now the secondary sector, the economic activity which are related to the manufacturing process, we call it as a secondary sector. For example, manufacturing of steel. Children, the secondary sector covers the activity in which natural products are changed into other forms through the ways of manufacturing that we associate with industrial activity. It is the next step after the primary products is produced by nature, but has to be made, and therefore some process of manufacturing is essential. This could be in a factory or a workshop or at home. For example, children, using cotton fiber from the plant, we spin yarn and weave cloth. Then using sugarcane as a raw material, we make sugar or good. Children, since the sector gradually become associated with the different kinds of industries that come up, we also call it as a industrial sector. Once again, listen it very carefully, children. This sector converts the raw material into finished goods. In its absence, the raw material will remain unutilized. Now, treasury sector, the economic activity that are mostly based on providing services to the society like transportation, banking, insurance, etc. falls under the treasury sector. After primary and secondary, there is a third category of activity that falls under treasury sector, and it is different from the above two. These are activities that help in the development of primary and secondary sectors. This activity or this sector by themselves do not produce a good, but they are an aid or support for the production process. Children, listen it once again very carefully. These activities by themselves do not produce a good, but they are an aid or a support for the production process. For example, goods that are produced in primary or a secondary sector would need to be transported by trucks or trains and then sold in the wholesale or a retail market or a shops. At that time, it may be necessary to store these in godowns. We also may need to talk to other people on phone or send letters or borrow money from bank to help the production. And trade, transportation, storage, communication, banking, trade are some example of treasury activities. Since these activities generate services rather than goods, the treasury sector is also called the service sector. Children, service sector also includes an essential services that may not directly help in the production of goods. For example, we require teachers, doctors, and those who provide personal services such as washermen, barber, cobbler, lawyers, and people to do the administrative and accounting works. All these are included in the tertiary sectors as they provide the services. Now children, we will see the interdependence of sectors. To understand this interdependence, let's take an example of cold drink. Children, you know that cold drink contains water, sugar and artificial flavor. Here, sugarcane is transported to sugar mill, and after converting it into the sugar, it is transported to the cold drink manufacturer. Now, to transport sugarcane to sugar mill and sugar to the cold drink plant needs the services of transporter. Then a person or a system of person is required to maintain and monitor all these movements of the goods from farm to factory to shops in different locations. That is where the role of administrative staff comes. Let's go back to the farmer. He also needs fertilizers and seeds, which is processed in some factories and which will be delivered to his doorstep by some means of transportation. At every step of these activities, we require the proper monitoring. So, in this process, we require the services of transportation, storage, communication, banking, etc. Let's see this example. Sugarcane, how it is converted into the final goods. Now, growing of sugarcane comes under the primary sector. Then, when we are transporting this to the factories or the manufacturing places, it comes under the tertiary sector. When we are converting this sugarcane into sugar good, or it comes under the secondary sector, and this is how the final product is made. Now we can take one more example. Children, here plant is a here the cotton which is grown in a primary sector, when it is converted into a textile, it comes under the secondary sector, and when it reaches the market through the means of transportation and other sources of services, comes under the tertiary sector. Children, always remember this. In the process of interdependence of the sectors, many other services such as banking, transportation, communication, storage, etc. plays an important role. Now children, the various production activities in the primary, secondary and tertiary sector produces a large number of goods and services. Also, the three sectors have a large number of people working in them to produce these goods and services. Now the children, the next step therefore is to see how much goods and services are produced and how many people work in each sector. In an economy, there could be one or more sectors which are dominant in terms of total production and employment, while other sectors are relatively small in size. Children, different goods produced in a sector may be measured in different units like kgs, liters, etc., and hence cannot be added together. Therefore, to find the total production of a sector, the monetary value of goods and services is added up rather than adding up the actual numbers. Children, in the next lectures, we will see how do we count the goods and services produced in different sectors. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.